now 7:56. We just had an executive session, talk about legal matters, and we will be taking no action at this time.
That's all I have.
That's all you have? Okay, thank you, Mr. Fry. Okay. Next on the agenda is accepting a supervisor resignation.
Joe Farley submitted a resignation letter on February 4th, 2022, and he did ask that we read it to the audience at this meeting, so I will read this. Dear Maidencreek Township Board of Supervisors, office staff, and residents of Maidencreek Township, I first want to thank everyone for all of your support, your time, and input into the various issues and concerns facing our township. I'm very grateful and feel honored to hold the position of Maidencreek Township Supervisor. Maidencreek Township is a very diverse community made up of different ethnic cultures, backgrounds, ideologies, and political and social mindsets. Sometimes these ideas or opinions clash. This is common in a free constitutional republic that we live in, but if there is one thing that should hold all of us together, it's the fact that we are all Americans who want our freedom and who want to coexist peacefully and strive together in unity to advance the common good and welfare and well-being of our people and community. I hope and pray that this always remains the case. Through all of this, however, I feel that the position I hold as supervisor, especially in this day and age of tremendous divisiveness, is no longer in my comfort zone in life or something that I would want to continue to do. For this and personal reasons, I hereby officially resign effective immediately from the position of Maidencreek Township Supervisor. I ask that everyone honor and respect my decision, as it was my pleasure to serve, even though it has been short-lived. Thanks again to each and everyone. Respectfully and truly yours, Joseph W. Farley. And again, it's signed February, it's actually signed 2/10/2022.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept resignation letter?
Motion.
I'll second that. Motion made and seconded to accept a resignation letter from Joseph Farley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. In the meantime, I've noticed that we have gotten interest in this new vacancy that we have for a township supervisor. We do have a letter from Joe Rutterow, who said he's interested. Is he here in the audience? Okay. Would you like to address the board with your interest in this new position that we have available?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, residents of Maidencreek and our Maidencreek Township Board of Supervisors. I wanted to make myself available to continue to serve Maidencreek. I moved here in 2000. So from 2002, and I'm still involved in the township. So I've been serving our communities for the last 20 years. I was elected to Township Supervisor and served 2 terms. And I have also served in a variety of other capacities. I've been the vacancy board chair in 2002. I've served on the Township Planning Commission. I was elected auditor, served as elected auditor. Also had ran and was elected to Township Supervisor, was re-elected again in 2014. And currently I have been available to be the zoning board alternate, and then recently at the beginning of this year was appointed to the zoning board as a member. I've had the unique opportunity to have served with Supervisor Frank and also with Supervisor Fiedler, and not at the same time, but and I feel that I could bring my knowledge and experience from prior service to the township, and I think that I could be a unifying factor in our local government getting back to doing the business of the people. So I would ask that the board entertain me as an appointee to fill out this resignation to the next municipal election, and just wanted to make sure that the board was aware of my interest.
Thank you. You do have quite a resume and as far as all these
Yeah, I
different
probably didn't
positions
hit
that-
everything there. I've also served on other county boards, and certainly if anybody would like to see the resume that I have, more than welcome to circulate it around. But I've been very involved. I love our community. I've raised our family here. My wife and I have 6 children, and so we have made this our home, and I've been very fortunate to have been previously your supervisor, and feel that I can step in at this time and help our board, you know, continue to do the good work that they're here to do. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I don't know, do you have anything?
I don't.
Okay. Do we have any other interest in the position for Township Supervisor that's currently vacant?
So I'm Josh Beck, 1440 East Western, and most of you in here know that I ran against Joe Farley this year. And while I don't have the resume that Mr. Joe Rotaro has here, because I've never done it before, I'm going to put my hat in the ring again because I lost by 14 votes. So pretty much was a tight race, and I think there's enough people and backing in the community that maybe give me a chance. So I didn't fill out a letter yet. I didn't know anything about it till basically yesterday. So yeah, I don't have anything for you today. I didn't really plan. I didn't know we were going down this road today. So.
Well, we have 30 days to fill the
Sure.
vacancy, and now that we have a vacancy, we're going to be pursuing that. I was curious, what is your educational background?
So I have an associate's degree in architecture. I work in substation engineering. I've done civil grading and drainage for most of my career. 13 years was at Worley Parsons. I was a manager at the last company I was working at, and now I switched to, it's called Mace Associates, and we're out of Alabama. So our presence in the Northeast was non-existent, so myself and my boss at the time both left, and we are building the Northeast out of Newark, Delaware, so pretty much the Delmarva Peninsula, any of the utility companies in that area that do substation generation work, we do all the design, and that's where my history's been. Pretty much been doing CAD and engineering for 20 years.
Have you served on any boards?
I'm vice president of Fleetwood Baseball.
I mean, not Fleetwood Baseball, but anything else? Yeah. Okay.
No.
I'm just curious.
I said I had plenty of a meet and greet and plenty of time in the community. I was big going to support Northern Berks, so my involvement in the last 2.5 years has greatly increased. So, especially with what's going on in Maidencreek Township, and I just think that bringing some young ideas in here. I'm almost 40, but I'm getting close. But I consider it to be. I'm pretty in touch with what's going on in the community. Like I said, Erica made a comment about it earlier. We have 200 kids that are signed up to play baseball, so I'm very involved with families. A lot of people in Maidencreek Township know who I am, so give me a chance. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just so anybody knows, that the position is only there until the next municipal election,
That's correct.
when they will have to, whoever is
So they'll have
appointed has to
run in 2023.
That's
yes.
right. Yeah, I personally would like to see us fill the position with somebody who does have the experience, because we are in a situation where we have a number of issues going on. We don't currently have a township manager, we have an acting manager. We have a new solicitor, which I'm happy about. In addition to that, we do have, again, a number of items on our agenda. One is the zoning overlay. I'd like to see a board member that has experience both with the zoning issues, the land development issues, certainly budgeting, and we also, well, Joe Farley also was appointed to the police commission, so we'd also be filling position on the police commission to represent Maidencreek Township. And I'd also like to see that we can move forward without the divisiveness, without some of the acrimony we've had in previous meetings, that we can actually move forward and work together. And then the other thing too is somebody who doesn't have any experience right now would have to really have a learning curve to move forward. And with the PSAT's workshops for new supervisors, that pretty much is ending this month. based on the fact that we do have a vacancy right now, I would move that we appoint Joe Rutterow to the position of Township Supervisor.
Okay, I just wanna see what the crowd, of our.
How does it get decided? That's what I like. How do you decide one? Yes.
Maybe if our solicitor would explain the process that we need to go through at this point in time.
So when there's a vacancy, the remaining board members are the ones who decide who fills that vacancy. So it is a vote. So a motion isn't a vote, it's just putting it out there. So there is no decision yet, it's just,
Two of them are going to, in this case, they're going to have to come to consensus, I would presume.
exactly right.
Yes.
So, and if they don't, within 30 days, then it goes to the vacancy board, which is the two of them plus the one vacancy board member. So
Okay, good.
that's how they break the tie.
Okay, got
And
it.
if that doesn't happen, then it goes to the courts.
Okay.
So, but we do have 30 days to fill this vacancy from tonight. It can be filled right away tonight,
Right.
or it can be filled at your next meeting, whichever one is the pleasure of the board. So there is a whole process set forth in the law
Thank
of
you.
time periods to do it. The 30 days starts tonight because it goes from not from when he wrote the letter on the 4th, but from when it's accepted. So the 30 days starts tonight. Alright.
And what is normal for a board to follow?
There is no normal. Sometimes you have people waiting in a queue, and you know who it is, but the normal is, obviously, the two of you have to agree. If you don't tonight, then we'll wait until March 10th, and if you agree then we'll decide then. If you don't then it goes to the vacancy board. I mean, normally it's decided by the remaining board members,
Okay.
because there is some consensus of who you want. But whether it's normal to vote tonight or your next meeting, or quite frankly, a lot of times it has to be a special meeting when you have one meeting a month. It's just,
Right.
the advantage we have is it's February, so the next meeting's only 28 days away, because it's a
Right.
short month.
Right.
Usually your next meeting would be 31 days away or something. So that is the cushion we have, that we will not need a special meeting in between. You can still have one, a special meeting,
Right.
so that you could get somebody geared up and be ready to vote on the 10th. The advantage of voting tonight is you have somebody who's jumping right in that position when you have these issues that are outstanding.
I have a
Is
question.
there yeah, go ahead.
Do you think maybe if you waited a little longer, you'd have some other people maybe apply also?
That's a possibility. I think the two people that expressed an interest are probably some of the better qualified, or more interested in our township. I mean, certainly Mr. Rutterow with all the experience he's had, so.
Some people don't know about the opening.
So at this point, I don't know, is there anybody else here tonight that would be interested?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You wouldn't accept 3 applications for the manager position, and you have 2 people that have expressed an interest here that you haven't sat down and talked with personally. I would think that you would want to give as much thought and process to filling this vacancy as you are to filling the manager vacancy. It seems to me that people coming up and talking at this meeting with no chance for anyone else who might be interested to come forward, because it was never advertised that put your name forward, that I think you need to take some time and talk to people and do diligence on picking the next supervisor.
We appreciate your comment. To address that, we did advertise the fact that there was a resignation of a township supervisor, so
Okay,
that's been on our agenda.
I'm not gonna argue.
No, I want to clarify some of your points.
I'm just expressing my opinion. You
We-
don't have to make a comment.
We appreciate
All I'm
it.
saying is
Thank
that I
you.
think you should take as many applications as you want to take for the manager job as you want for this job. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have your name for the record, ma'am?
Michelle, be man.
Okay. And also, I'd like to address the points that, the township manager job is a full-time position. The township supervisor position is part-time, and we do have people that we do, I'm familiar with Mr. Rutterow because I did serve on the board with him for 2 years. The township supervisor position is unique in that we cover so many different areas. We have a budget of $4.5 million that we're responsible for. We're a member of the Northern Berks Regional Police Commission that we have a member and an alternate serve on. We also are in charge of zoning, land development, and public works. So it's quite a diverse range of responsibilities, and there's not many people who really have that ability just to step forward in all of those areas. And the other complicating thing is that the PSATS group, which is the Pennsylvania Association of Township Supervisors, does hold workshops for new supervisors that get elected, and right now those workshops are being concluded, so we have that.
Here's my
Yes, sir.
question. So, asking my qualifications, so I'm not hiding anything. So my question is what was Joe's background before becoming a supervisor? Nobody knows. What was
You
yours?
supported him.
Nobody knows. I'm not trying to pick a fight or anything, I'm
Okay,
just
well,
asking the
okay,
question.
we can, you know
That's
what,
the first- that's
let me
the
address
first
that, I will
question.
address that for
Okay,
you. Prior to coming to this township, I had 8 years of township supervisor experience in another township. Excuse me. All right, please, we have one person speaking at a time. I know Mr. Retto did serve on the planning commission for 2 years prior to becoming a township supervisor. And in the meantime, he has served 12 years as a township supervisor in addition to other capacities. So it's a well-rounded experience. and he's been
I'm
on
not
the
denying
commission.
anybody, I'm just asking, nobody really knows what was done previous. So, we know you were a supervisor in Lancaster, what did you do? What was your, how did you earn a living? What is your background? My background's civil grading and drainage, I've done it for years, so I've dealt with sewage enforcement, I've dealt with plantings and stuff like that. I did one of the biggest excavations on the East Coast, was 4 million cubic yards of dirt we moved to put a power plant on top of a mountain. So, to put out my entire resume, I'll gladly do it. I'll give you 15 pages of resume, that's fine. But on the other, my other question is, to this PSATS, did Joe attend it? No, not this Joe, not this Joe.
Okay, all right,
Joe,
if you're
Joe.
done with your
I'm
comments,
asking
then.
if Joe.
Okay.
I got, because I
No, okay, all right, this is point of order, sir. Okay, you asked your questions, when you sit down, then we'll give Mr. Rutterow the
No, I'm
floor.
not talking about Joe Roder, I'm talking about Joe Farley. Because when I ran for supervisor, I got the letter in the mail saying, here's our meetings that we're gonna put on in Allentown, Harrisburg, and wherever else. And I looked at it and said, okay, I cleared my schedule for that date, and that date, because of the possibility, if I got elected, I would make sure I went to it and attended it.
Okay.
So I'm asking, did Joe go forward? I don't care either way, I'm just wondering, did he go and indeed go to those courses to learn how to be a supervisor?
He was signed up, but then he resigned before the class took place.
Well, I understand there were 2 classes, and he did attend one, and he had another one this month that he did not go to
Correct.
because he resigned. So he did attend one, and he would have attended a second one if he had remained on the board.
Just wanted to know.
Okay, is there another comment from Mr. Rutterow? I did.
No, I was just, I'll gladly give my more background. I didn't want to take too long, but I
So
assume,
if
but
you would come
these,
forward, just to address that.
you weren't referring to me, I guess.
No,
right?
I'm talking about.
Somebody do it.
Everybody's good. As far as my educational background, I have a degree in criminal justice from Westchester University. I am a small business owner. I've owned a small business for 32 years. I have served, as I explained, on other boards and commissions. I have recently finished serving on the Reading Regional Airport Authority. That was appointment by the county commissioners. Prior to that, I had spent about 7 or 8 years on the Reading Area Transportation Study, the acronym is RATS, Committee for Transportation Planning in Berks County. I was the representative for townships of the second class for roughly 5 years. When I was appointed to the Airport Authority, they also have a voice on that board, and so I was the alternate and then the primary delegate for the Reading Regional Airport Authority. Once again, I have, the crowd is more than welcome to take a look at my resume. If somebody wants to pass it around, that's fine. If you're concerned about that, I did take the PSATS courses when I was elected the first time. I did serve as a Northern Berks Regional Police Commissioner and alternate. Over the 12 years, probably 8 of those 12 years, maybe 9, because we would alternate, either be, at the time, it was not unusual that one supervisor would be the primary and the other supervisor on the board would be an alternate. And so I did share those duties with Supervisor Beaver at the time for many years, so, or former Supervisor Beaver. And like I said, I have had the opportunity to work both with Dave and with Heidi. we have, I have some concerns for the township and the well-being of the township, and folks, I've always done my best to keep taxes low. I've always been an absolute steward of the taxpayers' money. I think my record shows that as a township supervisor. I'm concerned for the employees of the township right now, all this turmoil and everything that's happening, and I think that we have good road crew people, we have good office people, and we need to create some stability in the township. And once again, this appointment is till the next municipal election. Anybody that's a registered elector in the township and has resided for at least a year in the township has the ability to run for township supervisor. They are, as far as I know, the only requirements to run for the office is that you have those two. So, and if anybody has any concerns or questions, I'll gladly field them now. And if not, then I'll sit down since we're talking about the other Joe. So,
Okay. Thank you. Yes?
Yeah, Mary.
Sure.
Yeah. My name is Carl Weston, and probably some of you already know my name. I just want to let you know, Heidi, that, and also Dave, that I'm interested in putting my name in the list to be the third person, and I will be submitting that to Caitlin. The fact that I'm up here is the fact that I agree with Joe Rudrow, and I have worked with him, and I also see that wisdom that Heidi has really explained, that we want somebody who has broad and depth of experience here. Okay, but my philosophy, and I'm pretty sure it shows the same philosophy as Joe Rudrow and Josh, is that it's not about politics. It's about bringing community together. It's hard when you have so many different ideas, but I'm a person who always feels that having the understanding to be diplomatic. My parents always felt that I was very diplomatic in a lot of approach. But more importantly is that Joe and I and Josh, we live in this community and been here for so long that we know the people that live in our neighborhood and beyond our neighborhood in Maidencreek Township. And I have also worked with Heidi for a couple of years before I stepped down. I have also worked with Dave when working with the Northern Berks EMS. I also worked with Joe Rudrow when I was in the auditor committee here. I've been in auditor committee, and I still am for over 12 years. I have also worked with different governments. I have also worked closely collaborating with different legislative members such as Dave Argyle and so forth. I think one of the things is that Dave and we have a lot of breadth and depth of experience. I know that he's probably way more qualified than I am. Just to let you know, I am retired, and I do have time to take and just be able to go right into the nit and gritty of all the things that goes on in the township. I'm a fast learner. Yes, she's right about that. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to go through a learning curve. The good news is the fact that I take learning curve as a challenge. That's something positive. I can learn and be able to address some of the issues that our township is facing. Now, I just want you to be aware of it, that I'm here for all of you. It's not about myself. I'm here to serve. It is we, the people, that's in here. I represent all of you. If I were to be up there, I have to think of you first, not think of myself at first. So, having said that, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Carl, can you say your name again?
Huh? Oh.
They're asking your name.
Who?
Just asking what your name is.
Oh, Carl Weston. Yeah.
Do you have any other comments?
The only thing I think at this point, what we want to do is everybody who's interested, give them an opportunity, a deadline to put their letter of interest in, and then we're going to need to consult in executive session.
All right, I'll withdraw my motion, and we will officially request resumes for anybody who is interested in township supervisor.
And I would suggest,
With the deadline of,
I'm thinking 2 weeks.
2 weeks would be fine
Tops.
from today. All right, we have another resignation of the Maidencreek Township Authority Board member with the term expiring 12/31/2024. It would be Carl Bolognese has submitted his resignation. Is there a motion to accept?
There is, and I wanted to add to that, Carl's been around for a long time. He has served the township well in many different positions. He also has been on the authority, he was a supervisor. And I think we need to put a letter together for him and thank him for
It would be very helpful.
his service to the township as well. So I'll make the motion that we accept his resignation at this point in time.
And send a letter of regret.
And send a letter of
He also
appreciation.
served as supervisor.
Yep, that's what I said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, motion made and seconded to accept the resignation of Carl Bolognese from Maidencreek Township Authority Board and sent with a letter of, I guess of regret, that is, appreciation of his service. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. All right, next we have the item of appoint Jay Pendleton to serve the unexpired term of the zoning hearing board alternate until 12/31/2022. Jay Pendleton has previously served on the zoning hearing board. Is there a motion?
Motion.
I'll second that. Motion made and seconded to appoint Jay Pendleton to the zoning hearing board alternate with term expiring 12/31/2022. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Now we have another resignation from the Maidencreek Park and Recreation Board. We have a resignation letter from Tim Mills. Is there a motion to accept?
Again, I'll make a motion to accept along with sending a letter to Tim appreciating his service to the township ongoing.
And authorize to advertise the position on the township website.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll second that. So motion made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Next item is request to authorize the engineer to meet with the Park and Rec Board to develop a plan and cost estimate for the installation of 4 pickleball courts in the community park.
Could that be expanded to include the
Electric line for the,
electric and
Yes.
plan for the scoreboard?
sure.
Yeah.
I think that'd be appropriate.
I'll make
A motion.
a motion.
Okay, I'll second that. Motion made and seconded to authorize the engineer to meet with the Park and Rec Board to develop a cost estimate and plan for the installation of the 4 pickleball courts, and including the electric line review for the scoreboard. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Okay, next we have on the item agenda here to appoint David Frank, the Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Just for anybody's information, I previously served 2 municipalities for over 23 years as emergency management coordinator. I served Dolly Township for 13 years and Douglas Township for 10 years.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so motion made and seconded to appoint David Frank, the Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Next, we have appointing a secretary/treasurer for the township.
You want to do that at this point?
I know, it's on the agenda, so.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't know that we're.
because Diane left, we don't technically have an appointed secretary treasurer. I don't know if we can keep moving forward, and then just wait till, obviously, you hire a township manager, and then they will be appointed secretary treasurer, as we have in the past. I don't know if it causes issues.
Yeah, you should appoint one, and then obviously once the new manager comes on board, you can then resign.
Resign, right, and
appoint
allow
a
the
new
manager
person.
to
Yeah,
become that.
yeah, or reappoint a new, her or him
Yeah,
as
right.
the new person.
Okay.
Okay, now, my next question would be, I mean, if we were gonna look at appointing you, are we gonna have issues to deal with,
Right.
So,
Right, we understand.
Also, would there be any issues with bonding?
Yeah, we're gonna have to move the bond, and we
Right.
have to change
Yep.
signature cards, we're gonna do all that.
Right.
That's why I'm wondering if by our next meeting, we won't have an idea about, so maybe for 1 month.
I don't think I heard you for the moment.
Okay.
Okay,
So
to
why don't we
table-
do it that way?
To
We'll
table
hold
this.
Table this for 1 month, and
All right. All right, then, next item is to appoint an open records officer and alternate.
again, we're gonna be,
I'm currently the alternate.
yeah,
Right,
so
okay.
we have somebody in place.
All right,
Someone in place.
So we'll
We'll
table the
table
open
the
records
officer.
officer.
Okay.
Nerves are getting tired.
Then we have appointing a recording secretary for the Board of Supervisors.
Again,
Did we have anybody step forward?
Not for Board of Supervisors, no.
Okay.
so you're gonna be
I'll be
taking-
here. You could appoint me, and then when the township manager comes on, you could appoint them.
Okay.
Or a third person potentially.
Or a third person.
Because we did have it.
Again, are we gonna be looking at some, I mean,
Potentially, yes.
yeah. I'm just wondering if we shouldn't table anything we're going to appoint Caitlin to until we have discussions with her
Right, I agree.
representative.
I didn't know that's who you had in mind, but I'm assuming from the conversation, that's where you were headed with
Okay,
it, so.
so we'll table
yes.
both of those items for the recording secretary for both Board of Supervisors and the Park and Rec.
Is the recording secretary the one that creates the minutes?
Right.
Yes.
So I'm
Well-
currently the recording secretary for Park and
Park and Rec,
Recreation
Yeah.
Board.
Yep.
We had another individual show interest in it. And just at this time, since I'm doing 3 meetings, I said that that would be up to the pleasure of the board.
Has that person been around?
Not yet. She showed interest, and I said she could attend the February meeting and see if it's something she would be interested in. And then we could try to go from there, unless you would like to advertise, you know, for just specific recording secretaries, because it doesn't have to, in the past, we've had it be the township manager, and we've had it be another individual. So that's up to the
We could
board.
put it on the website, so
We can,
see what
absolutely.
interest we have on that. And,
We can, and until that point, that was something you already had before.
Right,
we
so
could
that
have
wouldn't be an
changed.
issue.
Right,
Yep.
So you don't even have to appoint
Yeah.
me, because I am,
well,
Right.
I think we still have to,
I
You
was
were-
No, you
appointed
were
at
appointed
reorg,
on January
yeah.
3rd.
Mm-hmm,
but I don't know that we did appoint her.
Yes, we
Yes,
did,
you
we
did.
did, we did.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
Or
'cause
Park
there's,
and Rec.
correct.
Yes,
there's so much.
because you were, yeah, she was already.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have designate a pension plan individual trustee.
Again, that usually is the manager,
Right.
so I don't know that we're doing anything in the next 30 days with pension plan that would need to,
Is that appropriate from a legal standpoint?
In case something comes up, I mean, those are ones that we probably should have somebody, in the next 2 I'm looking
Yeah, the administrator
Yeah.
and the trustee.
here.
and since you're already a member of the pension plan.
No, she can't.
You
Right,
can't
I
even.
can't do it.
Right,
Would it be appropriate for the board
Yeah.
to split these responsibilities?
Yes.
okay.
Again, it's an interim position until it
Right,
gets
as
made,
an on
so-
an
Yes.
interim basis
Yeah.
due to the vacancy of,
Yeah.
okay.
So I guess at this point, I'll nominate you as the individual trustee.
Okay, and assuming without any conflict of interest, I'll second that and vote for it since we're only 2-member. Okay, I'll second that. All right, motion made and seconded to designate Heidi Beeler the pension plan individual trustee. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 2-0. Then I will move to appoint David Frank, the pension plan administrator, to administer the plan.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded to appoint David Frank, the pension plan administrator. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Next, we have the accept the planning commission annual report.
I'll make a motion,
To accept it?
yes.
Okay, and I will second that. So motion made and seconded to accept the planning commission annual report. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Next item is accept the park and recreation annual report.
Make a motion,
I will second that. Motion made and seconded to accept the park and recreation annual report. All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Next, authorize the Board of Supervisors to sign the BB&T/Truist bank account signature cards.
Now, new signature cards are gonna have to be created for BB&T because it has Mr. Farley's name on it, and they won't accept it with just 2 signatures.
So we'll all need to sign.
Yes,
Okay.
so we'll have to push that off, and we'll have to get new signature cards.
So you're saying we have to push it off from tonight, to table it from tonight? Okay, we will table that then. All right. Next,
Okay, the next one is mine.
right,
I gotten some complaints about Faith Drive. Faith Drive and the lighting there, the darkness and the inability of people, and we had some concerns. So Tom, I'm gonna ask you if you could study the need for additional streetlights on Faith Drive.
Will do.
Thank you.
all right, does that need to be a motion?
Or
Yeah, okay. All right. Then we have, confirm in writing the acceptance of an offer made by Maidencreek Township Authority to pay $5,351 for sewage pump replacement, and the authority assuming responsibility for semi-annual cleaning.
I'll make that motion. That's for the one for this building.
Right, okay. I will second that. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0. Next, we have to discuss and take action on the tree blocking the line of sight at the intersection of East Western Road and Dalton Drive. It's Keith, there he is.
And that tree is pretty blatant.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know, there's a picture of it here, so, right there.
And that's crossing
Here's East
over.
Western. This is- Yeah, there's no, yeah, you put up here, you can't.
You guys have it.
We have a pic, we have this
You have
picture.
it before and after.
You already done it.
One is me at the stop bar, one is me actually in the lane, to be able to see.
Oh, I, we only have one.
Yeah, it's 212 East Western Road. You can see it's a pine tree. You know, it's
Yeah.
past the right of way. You know, let me know what you're gonna do, if you wanna send a letter, or let the property owner take care of it.
Has anybody spoken to the property owner?
I have not spoken to anyone, I was just told to go out and check it.
No, I'm just curious if they know about it.
So
I
it's
think-
in the right of way and in the site triangle.
It is not in the right of way.
So it's not in the right of way.
It's gonna
No.
be their tree.
Okay, I got you.
That's
It's in,
the
it's in the site triangle though.
It's in the side triangle though, yes.
Okay. I think it'd be appropriate to contact the property owner and explain to them what the issue is.
They've taken care of that before, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's not been this bad.
Okay,
Yeah, it's, yeah.
so maybe we could start with a phone call.
Just contact them.
Yeah, and just tell them that there's been some complaints. And
Yeah, that's it, that's Mr. Kirky, that's fine.
Yeah. And I don't think there's gonna be any resistance there.
And if we have to go to regulations, there are regulations,
Mhm.
then site plan will have to be kept clear,
Right.
so you can get compliance.
Okay. All right, and then you're next up on the next item here with, you're asking for authorization for a transmission line repair to truck number 1 through
Yes.
Penn Power Group at a cost of $2,050.44.
Yeah, just a little backstory there. During one of the storms, I realized I had a hydraulic leak, so obviously I pulled it back into the garage. While our mechanic was fixing it, he noticed that, hey, these transmission lines look a little rough. He actually had them checked out, so that's what I did. We got the Penn Detroit, and they kind of confirmed what the mechanic already said, that, you know, the lines are not leaking, but they are rusty. And the last thing I want to do is have them go out in the middle of a storm or leaves or whatever we're doing. So, little preventive maintenance, you know, cost there is 20,000 or 2,000. Yeah, 2,050.44 is what, yeah.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, and the brine that is put on our highways
Yeah,
is horrible.
we try our best. As soon as the storm's over, we're washing them out. We have the undercarriage washer, but still.
It does so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you have the continuous exposure, and then you have so many hours at a time when you can't wash it.
Constant.
Yeah, no,
salt.
I know.
Yeah, we're in the thick of it.
No, it's much better to do the preventive
Yeah,
maintenance
I
than
agree.
wait for it until it to break down, so.
Are they gonna put any rubber coating on the lines or spray them or anything?
I can request that if they want to do it. There's nothing listed, but there, I think there was on some before, so they'll probably do it again. At
Okay.
certain bends in the hot areas that they have there.
Right. Yeah, I'd be in favor of that. And I'd also make the motion that we make the repairs. At this point, I would say, with the spray on, it's probably gonna boost it another possibly $200. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I would think that's, yeah, I would think that's, right.
So,
You're still well under the bidding limit,
yeah,
so you're fine to do
so,
that.
Right.
Okay.
Authorize like not to exceed $2,200.
yeah,
Or
I would agree with
approximately.
that.
Okay. That's your motion?
That's my motion.
All right. I'll second that to authorize the repair of truck number 1 at a cost of not to exceed $2,200 for the transmission line. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0.
Thanks.
All right. Oh, we got another one here.
One more key.
You know that, we got
Oh, yeah.
We got,
Triangle Communications.
Triangle Communications.
Oh, I'm sorry,
to reprogram the
Triangle
township
Communications, yes.
trucks to add the Fleetwood Borough frequency at a cost of $650.
This is something that Fleetwood presented to me. We have a working agreement with Fleetwood where we trade services and manpower and stuff like that. And they asked if we would consider putting their band on our radio if the fact that we're ever together and we could talk back and forth to each other. It was a thought, I presented it.
Well, you guys are all in low band? Is that
Yes.
my understanding?
Yeah.
So it's gonna make work easier.
Yeah, it would be 6 trucks, it would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
650 is not a bid. I mean, that's programming and,
yeah, I think they get like $110 an hour or so. And they say they can,
yeah. I'll make a motion that we authorize Triangle Communications to reprogram the township trucks to add Fleetwood Borough frequency. Cost of $650.
All right, I'll second that. So, motion made and seconded to authorize Triangle Communications to reprogram the trucks at the cost of $650. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0.
thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then the next item is if any board members would like to attend the PSAPS convention, April 24th through the 27th.
I am not gonna make this year. My work is
Busy?
busy.
Okay. I'm already the voting member, so I will be attending
Okay.
to represent the township.
All right, we'll sign you up.
And you're going to? Right. Yes, okay, that's good. All right, the last item on the agenda is to review requests for proposals for the code enforcement and zoning officer and set up interviews. And we have 4 proposals, looks like. So,
I wanna look at them. I'm gonna need time to, but they just got them.
no, I know, they just came in today, so I'm just saying we have them, it's on the agenda. So we can review them and then set up a time for Caitlin to invite
Right.
all 4 applicants.
You don't need a motion or anything to do that, correct?
No.
And we don't, you can just do it?
No, that may be when we talk to the candidates for supervisor too.
Potentially, yeah, depending how much time we allow for these guys, this is
Yeah.
gonna be. All right. Okay,
Okay.
so, that was it on our agenda. Motion to, yes?
Someone had messaged me that they had questions earlier. You might be past that point now, but you might want to check to see if the Zoom people have any
Questions on
public
that.
comment or questions.
Okay. Oh boy.
Sorry about that, people online.
All right, Judy Haltman, what experience did Joe Farley have?
I think she wants to add, that's their chat, that's them talking to each other.
Oh, they want to talk now?
Yeah,
Okay.
just see if anybody has any questions on Zoom.
Is there anybody who would like to make a public comment that is?
There's a little like raising your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody online would like to make a public comment, you will have 3 minutes, and just raise your hand so that you can be unmuted.
How do you tell if they have their
The
hands?
slide
You get those
down,
little red
you need to
things.
slide down, yeah.
Okay.
There's-
I don't see any.
I mean, looking at the screen, I don't see anybody that's.
Oh, here. There we go.
Oh, okay, there she is. All right. Is she unmuted?
Yep.
Okay, you have 3 minutes?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering when we were talking about when Josh was talking and stuff, and we were talking about like his qualifications and stuff. I was actually wondering what Joe's qualification was before he was actually elected. so we could do some comparison work.
All right, we've already had that discussion, so we appreciate your comment. If you want to reach out to him separately, you may be able to do that, but.
Are they referring to me or Joe?
Is it Joe Farley or Joe Ruddero?
Joe Farley.
Good point.
Joe Farley, I said,
Joe
you
Farley,
were
okay.
questioning Josh's qualifications, but I wanted to know what Joe's Farley's was before he was elected, since now that's a topic of contention, I guess.
Well, he's not here, so we're not able to discuss that. Is there anything else you would like to?
If I could just add something here real quick.
Yeah, I
These are
guess
for
if-
3 minutes, but
Yeah,
is that the only comment you have then, madam?
No, you said he's not there to say what his qualification was, but what do you know about his qualifications? Did you question Josh's qualifications? Because obviously, you know Joe's qualifications, Joe Farley's, because you questioned Josh's qualifications. So I'm just trying to figure out what the difference is.
To put this in order, we have, right, Mr. Farley's not here, nobody here's here on his behalf to speak. We have before the board a vacancy that requires an appointment by this board for Township Supervisor, and that's all that I have to say about that.
the only thing I want to say about it is this. When somebody runs for election, they have to be a resident of the township for 1 year. Okay, then they have to gather their votes, they have a vote. And that's the difference between having a vote and filling a position now. So you don't have to have any qualifications to run for office other than you're a resident. That's the only qualifications you need for anybody. Unless if you decide to run for district attorney, you have to be an attorney. You have to run for judge, you have to be an attorney. But for township supervisor, you just have to be a resident of the community for a year. So we don't get to check until we vote for that person, and then we vote for them, hopefully with due diligence that we've done as voters to find out what their backgrounds are. And then you put them in office or you don't put them in office based on what you feel is your responsibility at that point. So, you know, we didn't get to choose Joe Farley or anybody else's background, mine, Heidi's, anybody else's, except for the fact that when we went to vote, we pulled a lever or we pushed a button. So that's how that works for voting. When it comes to something like this, we can look a little bit further because now the board's making a decision and we've got to use our due diligence to be able to make a decision that would work best for the township.
I really appreciate it, Dave. I appreciate it a lot. It explains a lot. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else on the online that would like to make a public comment at this time?
No.
I don't see anybody else. Okay, all right, seeing none, then, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All right, second, meeting adjourned. 8.
Good luck to you. All three of you. Thank you. All three of you.
I thought we were
No, thank you for your